All right, let's jump right in. I am so excited to be your guide today as we explore the completely fascinating world of arrays in Python. We're going to learn exactly what arrays are, how you can use them for storing data, sorting numbers, and even searching for specific values. And stick around, because we're going to use what we learned today to build some really fun coding projects, like generating blocks for a Minecraft house. It is absolutely going to be a blast.
Okay, so here is our roadmap for this explainer. 1. What are arrays? 2. Playing with arrays. 3. Sorting and searching. 4. How bubble sort works. And finally, 5. Fun array projects. Let's do this. Section 1. What are arrays? Storing multiple values in a single variable. So imagine you're building a game and you need to track the scores of 50 different players. Creating 50 separate variables would be, well, actually scratch that. It would literally be a coding nightmare. And that is exactly where arrays swoop in to save the day as the perfect solution. Think of an array as a single, superpowered container that holds a whole list of items inside of it. In Python, beginners usually use lists, which behave exactly like arrays. Check this out. We write numbers equals 10, 20, 30, 40, 50. Just like that, boom, 5 numbers stored neatly in one single place. Now, computers actually count these items in a very specific way. Every single value in your array has an exact position assigned to it, which we call an index. But here is the massive trick you absolutely must remember. In Python, the index always starts counting from 0, not 1, 0. So our first value, 10, is sitting right there at index 0. The second value, 20, is at index 1, and so on, all the way up to index 4. It's kind of like a giant puzzle where every piece has its own exact slot. To access a specific item, you just write the array name followed by its index number inside square brackets. Let me read this code exactly so you can follow along. Print numbers 0. Output 10. And to get the third item, we write print numbers 2. Output 30. See how that works? It's like grabbing a book off a very specific shelf.
Moving on to Section 2, playing with arrays, storing your favorite fruits. Now that we've kind of got the theory down, let's try a mini project to see how this works in practice. We're going to build an array using words instead of numbers. Let's create an array of fruits. We write fruits equals apple, mango, orange, banana. Now we can print each fruit one by one using their exact index positions. Print fruits 0 gives us apple. Print fruits 1 gives us mango. Print fruits 2 gives us orange, and print fruits 3 gives us banana. But wait, what if you get hungry and want to add another fruit later? Arrays are super flexible. They actually grow when you need more space. We use a really handy function called append for this. We write fruits.append grapes. Now when we type print fruits, our output is the full expanded list. Apple, mango, orange, banana, grapes. Our grapes got added right to the very end. All right, Section 3, sorting and searching, organizing and finding data. Let's see how this builds. As your arrays get bigger, you're going to need ways to arrange your information and find specific items fast. Python makes sorting incredibly easy. To organize from smallest to largest, which is ascending order, we write our array, then call the sort function. Numbers equals 94281. Then numbers.sort. The output instantly becomes 12489. But hey, if we want the largest numbers first in descending order, we just change the command slightly. We write numbers.sort reverse equals true. And just like that, the output is 98421. Now this is an absolutely crucial point. Understanding how Python handles your data when sorting. There are actually 2 different ways to do it. Method 1 uses numbers.sort, which permanently changes your original array forever. Method 2 uses a different function, sorted numbers. This method is awesome because it leaves your original array totally alone and creates a brand new organized copy just for you to use. Searching is just as simple. Sometimes you just need to know if a value even exists inside your array. Python gives us super readable logic for this. Look at this code. Numbers equals 12, 25, 18, 40, 55. If 18 in numbers, print found. Else, print not found. Because 18 is definitely in our list, our code will output found. It reads almost like plain English, right? Now, what if knowing it exists isn't quite enough and you want to know exactly where it is? For that, we use the index function. Numbers equals 12, 25, 18, 40, 55. Print numbers.index of 18. The output is 2. Why 2? Because remember, counting always starts at 0. 12 is 0, 25 is 1, and 18 sits perfectly at index 2.
Arrays are fantastic for quickly analyzing data, like student test scores. If a teacher has an array of marks, they can instantly find the highest and lowest grades. Marks equals 78, 92, 65, 85, 70. To find the highest, they write print max of marks, output 92. For the lowest, it's just print min of marks, output 65. So simple, but a real game changer.
Okay, Section 4. How bubble sort works. The algorithm under the hood.
When we use that dot sort function, it honestly feels like magic, but computers follow strict mathematical rules called algorithms. Let's look at one of the simplest ones, called bubble sort, to understand how a computer physically organizes data. Bubble sort relies on 3 very simple steps. Step 1, compare neighboring numbers. Step 2, swap if they are in the wrong order. Step 3, repeat until sorted.
And this brilliantly illustrates the math in action. Let's trace it together. Our original array is 5, 3, 8, 2. In pass 1, 5 and 3 swap, then 5 and 8 don't swap, but 8 and 2 swap. The 8 literally bubbles to the very end, giving us 3, 5, 2, 8. In pass 2, 5 and 2 swap, moving the next largest number down, giving us 3, 2, 5, 8. Finally, in pass 3, 3 and 2 swap. The final result is our perfectly sorted array 2, 3, 5, 8.
So here is exactly how that algorithm looks in Python syntax. Let's read this code step by step so you can follow along. N equals length of numbers for I in range n, for j in range 0 to n minus I minus 1. If numbers j greater than numbers j plus 1, numbers j plus 1 equals numbers j plus 1, numbers j. Now, I know that looks super complex, but it's really just executing those exact swapping steps we just proved mathematically. That bottom line, it's literally just telling the computer to swap the neighbors.
Section 5. Fun array projects. Minecraft and building stairs. Let's get building.
All right, now that we've absolutely mastered the theory and the underlying algorithms, let's shift back to pure practical fun and apply these skills. Imagine you're coding a Minecraft mod and you want to display your inventory. We can store your building materials right in an array. Blocks equals stone, wood, glass, brick, sand. Then, for block and blocks, print block. This elegantly loops through and prints out every single material for us, one by one. Here's another really cool visual project. We can represent the physical height of a staircase using an array of numbers, and then build them instantly. Stairs equals 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. By writing, for step in stairs, print step height, step. This simple loop runs through our array and builds out all 5 of our stair levels perfectly. Wow, look at everything we've accomplished today. We unlocked what arrays are, how to create them, and how to access elements using index 0. We learned powerful commands for sorting and searching, proved the logic of bubble sort step by step, and brought the whole shebang to life with Minecraft and stair building activities. You have officially leveled up your Python skills. Arrays are foundational to almost every piece of software in the world. Now that you hold the keys to storing, sorting, and manipulating data, the possibilities are literally endless. So I leave you with this final question. What amazing project will you build with your very first Python array? Keep practicing, keep exploring, and happy coding.